What do you think we know about the relationship between forgiveness and empathy?
I think there is a huge connection between the two of them, because again it goes back to the sense of being able. I don't believe you can have forgiveness without being able to somehow make sense of why somebody has hurt you or why somebody has behaved in the way they have towards you, because otherwise it just becomes meaningless.
Yeah.
I forgive you, but I don't really. I'm still hurting, and I can't make sense of why you would on earth do that to me. And you know, sometimes it's within relationships that reconnect and move on, and sometimes, you know, like at the playground, if a child is being persistently, you know, bullied by another child, then it's our job as parents and the adults around to kind of deal with that. But I still think there's room for our children who have been hurt by bullies or been victims of bullying to be able to make sense of it and actually have forgiveness and be able to use that tool of forgiveness to heal themselves and to move on from it. But I think it absolutely has its roots in empathy. There has got to be a sense of our children being able to see things from another person's point of view, and empathy is about being in feeling with each other. So it's shared feeling, it's shared emotion. So it's being able to feel what someone else feels and perhaps understand why. And that's hard to do. It's a kind of a really higher order, you know, in terms of our brain. It's kind of real high order stuff, and it takes a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness to be able to do that.
Are some of us just more empathetic than others? Is that possible? Can we be born more empathetic? I mean, when you look at personality types, I know that some people have high. We've been discussing amongst ourselves at times, haven't we? Where, you know, I cringe in conflict situations because I feel very much what other people are feeling. How would we know if we've got a child that struggles in empathy? Like, are there giveaway signs in that?
There would be giveaway signs. I think some children are. My tendency is to think that. So I've got two children, and my eldest would struggle more with empathy. She's kind of much more held together. She's much more driven internally by her own kind of thoughts or feelings, and she loves being in relationship with others, but she's very, very self-sufficient as well. So she does have empathy, but she has to work at it a little bit more, because that's just her temperament. She's very laid back, that's just the way she is. Whereas my youngest, Erin, feels things incredibly deeply. She's very sensitive, and she is kind of how she is in herself it feels like it's so dependent on how others are with her and how her relationships are. But her empathy skills, she wouldn't be able to watch an advert without, you know, crying. If it was, you know, anything that would stir up emotions, she would feel potentially what that person was feeling. So I think there are telltale signs.
Yeah,
that we
I
know
find
our
it interesting.
children.
They say that I read a report that looked at empathy in children, and it was sharing how children automatically empathise more with people who they find similarities to. So if they're the same age or the same gender or the same interests, if they can find a parallel with somebody, then then they can